Hello, traders. We have a setup outside the upper Bollinger Band into long-term trend resistance on SPY. It's a setup that Mark mentioned in the video last night, and that trends all the way back from 2007. If you go way back here, let it refresh here. Well, heck. Okay, on SPY, I drew a trend line off the highs of 2007, and that's the trend line that the markets are bouncing into as we speak on these markets. Now, if you go on a daily time frame, say 5 minutes, okay, and move her over a little bit here, you can see where we are trading right here on the SPY. Continue to get some motivation today. I do think we're going to get to the 320.55 area is where the trend line's actually officially drawn. So there is a potential for that. And if I go look at my market webs real quick for SPY, okay, where's it at here? Okay, we are in a phase of the market webs where there's a lot of clearance to the upside on our market webs for the S&P. So just keep that in mind. The next resistance area is 320.31, and that's right in line with that trend line, in my opinion. 320.21. It's right up here, right up there within pennies of being a decade-long trend line resistance. And so we're probably going to see continue upside into the afternoon hours going into that trend line. On the Qs, we're not quite into that trend line quite yet. So keep that in mind. There is potential for more upside this week, especially with Micron coming out. And we still have a sustained bid in a lot of the momentum stocks as of today. So just keep that in mind. Our tech still has a little bit of room to the upside if it decides to do so. And that's also from that 2007 high trend line for the Qs. So just keep this one on your watch. We are nearing that trend line resistance. IWN's kind of pinned in this little bitty wedge. It looks like good potential that we're going to break out of this pattern on our IWN. So keep that in mind. We're right here at the range highs as of the Friday's highs. And this downward descending, that is a minor trend line resistance. And we are bumping right into that as we speak in the IWM, suggesting that we're going to probably get a breakout into the later on today. It's only 12 o'clock, so something to really keep on your watch. Okay, the Apple. We have a high from back in 2012, and then we have another high in 2018. And right here, right now, we are crossing out above that trend line high. As of today, if you go on your daily here, I thought it was going to act as some significant resistance. We gapped up above that trend line today. Very strong scenario. So far, the volumes are a little bit lower than what I would actually like to see. And we are outside the Bollinger Band into significant trend line resistance, in my opinion. So that's why I think this is going to fade. Further upside coming into tomorrow is probably unlikely, in my opinion. So just keep that in mind if you are looking to for a continuation move into tomorrow. So far, very bullish signal here. All the major trend lines are holding and stuff. Momentum lines and stuff. There doesn't seem to be any type of significant selling pressure as we speak, but something to be concerned about. That is a major um, trend line that we just blew right through, which will actually act as support from here probably, um, going into the rest of the week. So I do think, considering the extreme uh, overbought situation the Apple has, and not really having any type of pullbacks, that we're probably going to be back testing this trend line this week. So just keep that in mind as a reversion trade likely to hit on any type of market weakness. So we saw early pre-market action in United Healthcare, and it was gapping up above Friday's close, and it just took off to the races. This is a long-term consolidation pattern that has really got some legs now in United Healthcare. Given the depth of this move here, you're looking the 330, 340 area, the next target for United Healthcare. So keep that in mind. Well, actually closer to 350. So very strong pattern in United Healthcare, still at the day highs. Look at this, man. Just it's straight up all day long. Beautiful chart pattern. So just keep this one on your radar. Much more continuation possible with United Healthcare. Significant upgrade in Micron this morning. I traded it up into the trend line, and it just keeps on going, of course. So I got out. I cashed out way too early, but I took a small profit on Micron Technologies to the upside this morning, and very bullish call into earnings. Somebody's really putting their neck out there. When earnings are Wednesday, and they had a very significant $90 price target for Micron Technologies going into earnings. Western Digital, same person who upgraded Micron, upgraded Western Digital. This is another one, very strong pattern today. I took some profits on that. It's come back in now. It's another one that I cashed out too soon, it seems like. I did not expect this kind of relative strength. And as you can see here, I didn't have it on this chart, but it came right up into that trend line, and now it's backing off. I actually cashed out way too soon, it looks like. Yeah, see, it came right up, hit that trend line. So you saw me draw it and see how it came right back off that trend line. And I had actually cashed out too early on that one too, unfortunately. So I didn't have that trend line drawn in. I made a mistake there. And then another one of the pre-market trades that I was eyeing, that was Boeing to the long side. I didn't actually take the trade, but it opened below this trend line. I thought we were going to get a responsive buy into Boeing, and the reasoning for that, what I was looking at on Boeing, we were 61.8 below the market maker move expected low for the week. That was a very bearish scenario. Typically, the 61.8 is a responsive buy area, and we were just right below this trend line, which now is acting as some support for the stock. And you could have bought there at the open this morning at the see if the market web shows it better. Yeah, you could have bought. I saw it right below this trend line, and like I said, we had that fib, the 61.8 beyond the market maker expected move. I thought this thing was poised for a bounce. It was too short for being the first of the week. The market makers had to cover their position because it was so over sold to start the week off with, in my opinion. And we saw a responsive buy program come here. A quick, almost a $5 move you could have made on Boeing in a matter of minutes if you would have taken that trade to the long side for a right at the buzzer this morning. And as you can see, it's bleeding off right now. But the whole thesis behind my trade, the markets were all showing bullish signs going into the open. And I thought we would see responsive buying into Boeing on this oversold situation, which that's exactly what we had. And you could have racked in quite a few pennies there on that trade. But that's just basically the things that I'm seeing today. I still have SPY calls to the long side. I'm still riding them to the north. I really kicked myself on United Healthcare. That was my first idea when I got up this morning that I wanted to do it, and um, I wasn't paying attention this morning. I actually spazzed out and forgot to even look at United Healthcare on the open, and so really upset about missing it. I did take my nice scalps on Micron and Western Digital this morning. I was happy with that, and the Boeing one, I passed on that. People in the trading room I'm in, they were looking to the downside, and I was, based on my technical analysis, I thought it was a more bullish scenario, so I passed on the trade. I didn't want to bet against the room. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. Please like it if you below the video if you can, and leave comments and stuff if you're seeing some stuff setting up. And I really appreciate it. But like I said, I don't think we're quite ready to roll over yet. Probably we'll see how the day closes here, but the main thing is the Nasdaq still has some room to the upside, in my opinion, and so I'm not going to be putting on short positions, despite the fact SPY's running into some resistance area here, and it might lag for a day or two relative to the Nasdaq. I really don't want to be putting on huge long positions at these ranges, because if there's any time in this run up to see a significant pullback, it is this week. And like I said in the prior video, we do have range expansion in the implied volatilities in the technology this week, suggesting that there's a lot more protection being bought in the technology space, hitting these record highs. Okay. And I can't remember if I mentioned Apple or not. Let me just do that real quick. Yeah, I did Apple, so I did check that. But Tesla is another one we really got to keep an eye on here. It is really setting up for the big breakout move here in Tesla, making a major move today right into what I would call a fib zone, a resistance area. We're heading into multiple highs here on the Tesla. I would be careful. We are pushing the Bollinger Band into significant resistance. I would, barring news, I would think you would see some weeks here. Tesla going sideways, building a base at these highs. We burn up a lot of energy coming from the lows all the way up here. So to me, because it's coming off of such a low, oversold situation here, I'd be quite hesitant to load up until it had time to digest this move a little bit for a few weeks. So, but I could be wrong. That's it. That's my midday video, and I'm done trading for the most part. I'm discussing SPY calls that may turn into a swing overnight. Like I said, though, we are running into some significant resistance, so I'll be watching that. The Qs do seem to have a little bit more room to play than the SPY, so keep that in mind. Thanks a lot.